I'm at the yard of Tara LAING, going to learn a little bit more about the runners from the yard that will be taking part on Friday, and I'm going to be hearing from Gavin Fenter in that regard. Now, the yard's first runners step out in race 4. Here they'll step out the 2 runners. We're going to start with Spin Doctor, and Gavi raced off the back of a good win.
Yeah, Nadine, his first run was disappointing on the poly, and we were reluctant not to run him on the poly again. And then eventually I thought, we have to try again. Yeah. And I took him to the poly a couple of gallops, and his gallops were very good. And I told the owner, Lorette, that I think this was a win. We're going to run him on the poly, and he duly won. So, yeah, we're back on the poly. We're pushing it a little bit, the 2-2. I'm not quite convinced he'll go the distance, but he has been a 2-4 in Joburg. But we're going to try, and if he runs a decent race, then his next step will be the Lakeside Handicap. But if he doesn't, then we'll skip the Lakeside. There's the Fairview Mile. So, yeah, he's definitely got a chance if he can get the 2-2.
Now, he'll be joined by stable companion Juan Carlos. Now, he is holding steady form.
Yeah, he's been ultra consistent. He was here for a couple of months and he didn't show us much, and then he suddenly turned the corner. He was very unlucky in the Gold Cup, and that's our aim now. We're aiming for the Glenley in the Gold Cup. Okay. Also, the Lakeside, but at this stage, his merit rating is just a little bit too low for the Lakeside Handicap. But if he wins this or wins in 2 weeks' time, then he'll get into the Lakeside. But our main mission is the Glenley in the Gold Cup, and this is a prep run. He's not well weighted. Yeah. Being a Pinnacle plate, he's not that well weighted, but his work's very, very good. Don't leave me out to exotics.
We'll see Thread of Life in race 5. Now, she showed good improvement back on poly in her last.
Yes, she's been a bit disappointing, but she has dropped 5.5 kilos since she won her maidens. She didn't beat much when she won. I was just looking at the form now on my way here, and her best run of late was actually 1400 on the poly, and I've duly nominated her 1400 on the poly. So she can run into the money, but maybe we need to try a little bit further, and that might be in 2 or 3 weeks' time.
Sky Velocity is next up in race 6. Now, she never disgraces herself, and she does enjoy track and trip.
Yeah, she came up off a 4-month break. She injured herself. We had to give her a long break, and then we got a lot of rain. We couldn't work her properly, so the break just took even longer. And then I thought she really needed it. Yeah. She hadn't done that much, but she was fit enough to go, and she ran a cracking 3rd. Very competitive race, very, very competitive, but she's got a nice weight on the back. She's 3.5 kilos better off than Arabian Red. So Arabian is Arabian Red, yes. So she's definitely a runner with that weight on her back. She's got a good chance.
In the background behind us, Timati River, he just stepped out of shot now. Now, much better than that last run, Gav. I'm sure we can draw a line right through that. His previous form is ultra steady and consistent.
Yeah, apparently what happened is, but you won't read in the staff's report, Marco told Chase that there was a loose horse in the race, and the loose horse kept running into the back of Chase, and Chase couldn't understand why. He kept dropping the bit, grabbing the bit, dropping, but the horse had run him to him back in the back of him twice apparently, and he just lost interest. So put a line through that run. He is now drawn 1 over a mile, which is a lot better, and he'll definitely run a better race.
That is a very valid reason for a horse running an under par race. I'm sure it couldn't have been comfortable for Timati, and we can definitely expect better from him. Now, Arrivederci will close for the yard in race 8. He looked absolutely fantastic in his last start going to post, and he ran accordingly. He ended up being beaten only just a quarter of a length by the favourite that day.
Yeah, Nadine, we were reluctant also to run him on the poly. His best runs in Natal were on the grass. And then we moved to the poly for 2 months, so we had no option. And then his best 2 runs have been on the poly. Yeah. But in saying that, he had a lot of problems with his back. He gets the massager on his back before he works, so does Spin Doctor. And then we put him under the lights after his work, and he's improved a hell of a lot. Yeah. It is a little bit soon. 2 weeks ago he ran, but we're going to the grass now. So I thought, let's see how he goes. If he pulls up okay, and I'm going to work him next string, not the first string, the second string, and if I feel that he's all good, then he's definitely got a chance. And look, he's got Alan's horse to beat, but he did beat Alan's horse last week, so it looks like almost a 2-horse race. He's definitely got a big chance.
Let's hope he can repeat that run, because if he does, he's going to be right there.